Hello and good morning. Welcome to Ice Cream Uploads. Here we are doing the scoop today.
We are, I believe so.
Yes, it is Friday the 17th of January. It's our third week back. Is it? 2 weeks.
Or is it 2.5? I get confused because I came back Thursday, Friday, unlike some people.
Nope, I was the following week. But yes, again, this is the scoop. It's your daily fix of the video game news, live from the very sunny Blackpool studios. It's a weird one to say again. We've got me, Bibby, we've got Abinio, and we've got Mrs. Drew.
Some call me Luke, some call me Jiroon, some call me Burnsy, some call me Skywalker. But you know,
no one has ever called me Skywalker. I've not heard one person in the office go, "Hey, Skywalker."
Trying to make it a thing.
Oh, but that is definitely going to stick, and we're going to be using that from now on. But yes, this is the video game show where we bring you all the video game news from around the hemisphere for you to be able to listen to either live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads at 10 a.m. every single morning, or later on in the afternoon via YouTube, or the 4 different MP3/streaming services, which are...
Yes, they are Spotify, and they are SoundCloud as well, and they are also iTunes, and they are Google Play.
I've just seen a comment there from Next Gen Renegade says, "Morning, Vivian Skywalker." There you go, it's already started to stick.
There we are.
But yeah.
This one.
But yes, again, I'm just going to keep on repeating myself because usually this is Graham's bit, but as you can see, he is not here today. So he's left it in the very incapable hands of myself and Luke. So we're going to try not to treat this as an absolute car crash. There we go, started off.
I love it, like when you get the word car crash wrong. That just epitomizes
it just sets off the tone, doesn't it? We've got some people in chat. Good morning to you all. Ads plays. Morning, lads. BK Connor says, "Oh, damn, you got Skywalker on the show." GG. I know.
The one and only.
You see, every time that you listen to us, we kind of get absolutely no revenue that we can not be able to pull any big stars. But...
yeah.
Obviously, we've got Mr. Skywalker here who has been listening to the show and decided to do it free of charge.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much cancelled to slot with Ninja in order to do this. So as long as you guys all appreciate it, I'm good with it,
If you'd have seen any kind of Battlefront 2 action going on in the office, you all know that this guy is definitely not any kind of Jedi. But we've also got Pirate, who is now hosting us. Good morning, mate. Thank you very much for the host. And as a courtesy now enforced by Graham, every time someone uses the "oh hello" emote in the morning as the show's beginning, I have to say it in very Bibby fashion.
All right,
which is
cool.
Move this away. Hello. There you go. You got to do that. I'm sorry if you're driving. I know it's just gonna swear. This will be your car crash, but yeah. Again, if you do use the emote in the morning, in the very early parts, obviously, because I don't want to be halfway through a news article and then "oh hello" starts to come out of nowhere. But yeah, thank you very much for the host, Pirate. We very much appreciate it. We have got a massively stacked show today. Originally we had about 3 news articles, but in the last 20 minutes or so, a few more things have started to come through, which are obviously in the deck for us. Again, if you do see any news going around the video game hemisphere, then please do feel free to tag Ice Cream Uploads into the post, and we will be able to put that into our deck. We want to know your opinions, but also you're here to listen to ours, which is very unfortunate for you because we have a lot of what's the word that Connor uses all the time when it comes to my opinions?
Crap.
Yeah, well, there is all that.
I don't know.
It's shit takes. There we go. Maybe shit takes. Because usually I start off with "so," and then I'll slap the desk, lean back a little bit, and you just go, "Oh shit, what's going on there?" But as players, thank you very much for the host as well, Bobby and Skywalker. Oh my god, Jordan, we're back here for a second then.
Wow, that was uncanny.
Streaming hot shit takes inbound. Exactly, that's what you're all here for. Very shit takes. But I won't disappoint. I'm just trying not to make sure everything that I've got on my screen comes up on the screen, because that would be an absolute disaster. You'd think I'd be a lot more organised with this.
No, not really.
You bastard. Well, again, usually Graham does all of the Stream Deck stuff. I have my laptop on. I'm sorting the news out, and he decides to start talking. We know when Graham's on a tangent, he ain't going to stop. So I'm just going to...
I'll try and fill it how I can here, but, you know, words don't come as naturally to me. So... How is everyone today? Friday, yeah, great, isn't it? Weekend's good. What's everyone doing for the weekend? What's everyone playing, games wise? Are they good games?
I think that's enough filler, mate. I think
Yes,
maybe all right.
okay, good.
You did a great job there.
Cheers.
All right, so first one of the day is probably the biggest news that cracked or came or whatever. What do you call it? News that has been released. The hot news or whatever.
Yeah, we'll just go with hot news.
We'll just go with hot news. Nice way of saying I talk a lot of crap. I didn't want to say broke. That's the word I'm looking for, and I think that is very much how my brain is this morning. Nice way of saying that I talk a lot of crap. No comment. If I speak, I'm in trouble. But anyway, into the first thing. Boom. Yeah. So, some of you may have heard that there was a game potentially coming out sometime soon that seems to have the world up in a frenzy. Unfortunately, that game seems to have been pushed back to mid of September. Can anybody guess what it is? If you're in the chat now, obviously you can see it on the screen.
Yeah, let us know in chat. I feel like we should give a countdown or something, you know.
So you've got 3 more seconds to figure out what it is.
Okay.
It's not Final Fantasy, by the way. It's not Doom Eternal. It's Cyberpunk 2077. It has now been released. It's now been delayed. Jesus Christ. Oh, this is going to be a tough one today.
I mean, it will be released, but just later. So,
yeah.
you know, that to recover that sentence.
So, this has been written on VG247 by Stephany. I'd love to be able to pronounce your surname, but I would not do it any justice. And it would sound even more shocking coming from a Mancunian man. So, we'll just call you Steph for now. Thank you very much for writing this article, because you are being featured once again on The Scoop. It's again by Cyberpunk 2077, release delayed to September 17th. Now I'm just going to take a very quick sip of my brew because I feel like I'm getting dry mouth already.
By the way, I'm going to say Stephany Nunneley.
Oh, there we go. That was poetry in motion. You don't wear a lot with that.
I think that's right.
Okay, so brew has been consumed. We'll now kickstart the article, the long-awaited article. The anticipation is building. Let's get into it. CD Projekt Red has delayed the release of Cyberpunk 2077 to September. The developer announced the Cyberpunk 2077 delay from April 16th to September 17th in an official announcement on Twitter. As you can see, the announcement, the game is complete and in a playable state, but the development team needs more time to playtest and polish the game. We want the game to be our crowning achievement for this generation, and postponing the launch will give us precious months. We need to make the game perfect, reads the announcement. The statement goes on to describe the complexity of the game, and due to its sheer scale, it needs more attention. It does sound complex, honestly, with having a large, both large and small side quests, along with the street stories, which you find completing jobs, providing you with room for various playstyles. Jesus, there was a lot of S's there, and he just threw me all over the gaff. These side quests and jobs will be giving you plenty to do outside the main campaign, and will have been branching paths that can often tie together with other quests. Despite the delay, it hasn't dampened our excitement for the game as one of our most anticipated of the year. So, I don't know whether or not the full statement has been listed in there. Anyway, I'm going to read it anyway. This is the full statement that CD Projekt Red put out on Twitter. During the article that I've just written there, I think it just may have taken little bits out.
I think so, yeah.
So I'm just going to read you the full thing just for some kind of context. We have important news regarding Jesus Christ. Oh... I think you're going to have to be reading news for the rest of the day, mate. This is not going well. Cyberpunk 2077. We have important news regarding Cyberpunk's 2077 release date we'd like to share with you today. How many times do they want to say the name? Cyberpunk 2077 won't make the April's release window, and we're moving to launch date September 17th, 2020. We are currently at a stage where the game is complete and playable, but there is still work to be done. Night City is massive, full of stories, content, and places to visit, but due to the sheer scale and complexity of it all, we need more time to finish playtesting, fixing, and polishing. We want Cyberpunk 2077 to be our crowning achievement for this generation, and postponing the launch will give us precious months. We need to make the game perfect. Expect more regular updates on progress as we get closer to the new release date. We're really looking forward to seeing you in Night City. Thank you for your ongoing support.
Say Cyberpunk 2077 3 times really quickly.
Do you know what I mean? There's no need. We just say Cyberpunk. We don't need the 2077. Realistically, in my head, when I'm reading that, I should be dropping the 2077. But just to make sure that people actually know what it is that we're talking. You know what I mean? It's not done. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Because I have some pretty shit takes about it too.
Right. Okay. So for me, I think it's fine. I'd rather have a game come out later and be of optimum quality than have a game come out and be rushed. I suppose, if you wanted to level any criticisms, then it would be that they didn't obviously, predict sort of like a good release date very well in the first place. They obviously got that a bit wrong. But it's fine. I think most people nowadays are fairly like forgiving of that kind of thing. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. And September is great. It's around my birthday, so perfect.
I am fully agree with you there. I like the fact that they are big enough to be able to say, look, we're not too sure about this game yet. We feel like it could be a hell of a lot better. We want to improve it more. Yeah. I'd much rather them release the game in a much better state than releasing it in April and then having to patch it for 4 or 5 months. We've seen games do that plenty of times, which we've mentioned on here. The likes of Anthem is still pretty much broke, and No Man's Sky now is a completely different game. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a completely different game, and as far as I'm aware, it actually got a re-review not long ago on the likes of IGN, which now say that they would 100% recommend the game to other people rather than it being in the state that it was when it first came out, which is all amazingly good. It's amazing to hear, but those games have been out for so long that they've had time to be able to do it. This is going to be a single player game. You can't have this game. Well, I mean, the multiplayer is coming well after this, but predominantly it's a single player game. You want to be able to enjoy. You don't want it to be like a broken mess. However, with a game that's anticipated as this, and it's CD Projekt Red, they're not an indie developer by any stretch of the imagination. They've got more than enough games under their belt to be able to say, we know what we're doing with this. I mean, they're the guys that made the Witcher franchise, exactly, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not as if they just make small games. Yeah. Realistically, they probably should have known quite a long time ago, not 3 months before the release date, that this game isn't going to be perfect. It's not going to be ready.
It's probably fair.
They probably 6 months ago should have had a timeline of where they was going to be with this. Yeah. They say that the game is finished. I hate the word polish in games. It's the easiest, shittest word to be able to get out for people just to be able to, scrape over the top of it. Oh, it needs more polish. Do you know what I mean? It's a really shit word that gets bandied about. Well, exactly. Yeah. It's a bit vague. If it's in a playable position, why have we not seen more of it?
Yeah, they'd probably be better off just saying it's not finished yet.
Exactly. Just a bit. I mean, I appreciate the honesty that they've got with it. Fair enough, they've come out and they said we need more time. Don't say that it's finished, but it needs more polish. Just say it's not finished. It's not in a position that we want it to be yet. Just be very top line. They don't need to give more than what people need to know, because they're going to have idiots like me coming on podcasts like this just to give you shit about it. I mean, again, I love the fact that they've come out and said that they need more time. That's fair enough. I can deal with that. But to say it's finished, you can, if it went off the shelf today, you can play it. It's done. It's there. But then don't say that it needs more polish. Yeah. I hate the word polish in video games. If people could stop using that would be great.
Nearly half a year of new polish as well. I mean, it's the type of word that you could get away with more if it was like a couple of weeks delay or something. But,
I mean, 6 months worth of polish, do you know what I mean? Yeah, that shit better be gleaming when it comes out. But again, I am so down for this game. It is 100% a game that I am super excited for. I may sound like I'm coming across slightly bitter about it right now, but that's because I really want to play this game. But again, I appreciate the honesty of them coming out and said that it needs more polish, whatever the fuck that means. But don't tell me that it's complete and that it could be potentially be ready to be shipped, and then say, actually, we were going to take another 6 months. Sure. Again, it's a super shit take, but that's just the way it is about it.
I think overall, though, we're in agreement that it's mainly a good move.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, I'd prefer more companies come out to say, look, we anticipated the wrong deadline. It's not quite there yet. Yeah. But don't give me the first part where they're saying that it's ready to be played, because then you're just kind of pissing people off, i.e. me.
I think as well, like, from the point of view of the people who are working on this game, it's healthy ultimately for the whole industry if we can allow for extensions and stuff like that, because I can imagine like if them trying to stick with a particular deadline and like working the employees like 20 hours a day sort of thing.
Yeah. Have you seen the video? I've mentioned this many times on here before as well. Have you seen the video game movie? It's on Netflix. It's brilliant.
No, I don't think I have.
It's amazing. It follows like 4 or 5 very small indie developers. So one of them was the guys that created Fez, and the other guys did Super Meat Boy.
You know what? Thinking about it, I think I have, or at least part of it, because I definitely remember seeing bits about the guys who made Fez. I'm sure I did. Yeah.
So those guys, obviously, they had a deadline to meet, and they was just working like super burnout. Completely because they're working so hard. And I very much appreciate the effort that they went into, because they both created 2 outstanding games. I would have preferred them to be able to give themselves more time to breathe.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to have your entire life based around sitting up coding all day. But again, that all comes down to not saying that it's ready to be played. You know what I mean? It seems like there's 2 contrasting messages there. They're not happy with it, which is fair enough. It's their baby. They want it to be the pinnacle of this console generation. Just don't say anything like that. Then just word it differently. Just say it's not ready yet.
Sure.
We need more time. We want to give you the best experience that you can have. That's it. You don't need to say anything else.
Well, it's typical PR sort of stuff. Really.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Ice Cream Upload says Star Wars Battlefront 2 sold around 9 million copies, if I remember correctly. Star Wars Battlefront 1, which is a much lesser game when compared to now, sold over 12 million. That's what releasing an unfinished game does. Again, it got panned massively. Again, likes of Anthem, likes of No Man's Sky. I mean, the fact that Star Wars Battlefront 2 had a lot more in it, but the controversy regarding the loot crates and stuff did absolutely no justice. Like, they basically buried themselves before the game even come out. It's one of the reasons why I didn't pick it up. I've got Star Wars Battlefront 1. Didn't pick the second one up because I didn't want it to be a loot crate frenzy. I didn't want to have to put in 60 quid to be able to get a half-decent weapon, and then potentially not be able to use it. Like in FIFA, there's no guarantee that I'm putting 10 grand into the game. I ain't getting an icon, I ain't getting a Team of the Year player or anything like that. There's absolutely no guarantee. That's what loot boxes do for you. Ads play says true. Shit.
What?
I need the mouse because the scroll.
I can just be reading some things. Although I don't know how far back we've not read for.
Yeah, I've got the mouse now. We can see the chat again. Morning Asim. He says it's finished and playable from start to finish, but that doesn't mean it's bug free. This is where QA comes in. That's what they said / meant. Majority of games will be playable from start to finish months before launch, but that doesn't mean that they're ready to ship. It means QA and other facets of getting games out to begin. Yeah, but don't mention that bit then. Like, I don't care that it's I care that it's playable, but I don't care. They don't need to say that. Just say it's not ready.
Sure,
like, fair enough, they need to do the more QA stuff. They've given them time to be able to do that, but don't say that it's ready. It's clearly not ready.
Yeah.
If you're having to push it back 6 months, it's clearly not ready. There's no way that you can shape that for them to be able to say that it's ready to play.
I'm just trying to reread the actual statement. I suppose they say it's it's complete and playable. So I suppose it depends. I mean, playable is fair enough. I mean, you can have a game that's playable and still have bugs in it.
Absolutely.
Complete, I suppose, is a bit like saying ready. I don't know.
I just think they could have worded it. They could have worded it better. I mean, I'm going through with a fine tooth comb here for their PR stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's just word it differently. It's just one line. It's not ready yet. We'll see you in September. That's all it needed to be. I don't care the ins and outs of it, but just don't say that it's complete. It's very odd. But interestingly, you mentioned delays being healthier. Luke said there's a bit of Hornet's Nest being stirred up around Crunch this morning too. CD Projekt as much Crunch will happen. It's them being CDR being super open, which they probably shouldn't have been. Yeah, again, I've said it about 6-7 times. I appreciate their honesty. I just think that the PR thing around it could have been worded a lot differently. Again, it's fine-tooth comb. It's been super nitpicky. I don't think it needed to be as long as this. I mean, it's 1 sentence, 2 sentences, 3 sentences, 4 sentences, 4 sentences and a paragraph. It didn't need to be that. It just needs to be, want it to be the crown and glory. We don't feel it's in a position to be released yet. We want to be able to have more time with it. There's a lot more things that wanted to be introduced into it. We'll see you in September. That's all it needed to be. We didn't need the whole nitty-gritty around it, saying Night City is a big place. We need more... No, it just needed to be very short and brief, 2 lines max. We'll see you in September.
He's passionate about these sort of things. You mentioned this with like gamers, aren't you? Although that was even worse.
But again, yeah. To be fair, I am passionate about it because I feel like I don't need to be in this position now where I'm going in at them for this kind of PR stuff. The message didn't need to be this. It could have been anything else. Yeah. Now, if this is the most I'm going to be irritated by the game when it comes out, then I'll fucking take this all day of the week.
Exactly, yeah. I'm sure it'll be good. It's going to be amazing. It's got to be now.
Yeah.
They can't release it in September and it not be amazing. In a way, they put the pressure on themselves a little bit.
Absolutely. I'm just going to reread Ice Cream Upload's comment again. Interestingly, you mentioned delays being healthier. Luke, there's a bit of a hornet's nest being stirred up around the crunch this morning too. VG 24/7.
Let's see what that is.
CD Projekt. I'm going to open it on my laptop here, so we can all read it together because I am not sure what it actually is. So let's make that smaller. I'm already on VG 24/7 because that was what we featured it on. Okay. So we've got a slightly updated article here now. Thank you very much, Graham. Let's bring this up on screen and we can go through it together. Game frame. Cyberpunk 2077 development team will be putting in extra hours leading up to the launch. Cyberpunk 20... Right, we'll start again. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to I'm joking. Developer publisher CD Projekt Red called for emergency press conference to discuss the news of Cyberpunk's delays in September. During the call, an investor asked if their delay means that the game development team will be required to crunch. To some degree, yes, to be honest. Adam Kaczynski, joint CEO, replied, we try to limit crunch as much as possible, but it's the final stage. We're trying to be reasonable in this regard, but yes, unfortunately. Crunch is an industry term that refers to working on reasonably long hours for weeks and sometimes months towards the end of the project's development. The idea to maximise potential for the final release by overworking developers to get more can be healthily done in the same period of time. More than can be healthily done in the same period of time. CD Projekt Red has a nasty history with crunch, admitting to Kotaku last year that it's something that the studio has been working to improve during Cyberpunk's 2077 development to be more humane. Crunch is by no means CDPR only problem. It is by several key issues currently at the centre of the move to unionise game developers. Please do not. Oh my god. Oh, what's going on? Have a clicked on a trailer.
No! Something that may not be appropriate.
No! Okay, let's go back to this one quick.
Right, that is interesting. So, despite the fact that they've added 5 months onto the whole release date thing, it's still going to be subject to some pretty severe crunches by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Which, should they delay even more? Or, after reading that, I kind of feel a little bit more critical towards them because I just think, how could they have got it so wrong?
Yeah.
Again, it's like we said it at the start, but I feel more so that way now. In terms of the original April release date, but
Asim says, sayings regarding Crunch 2 a bit too open. Crunch will happen, but they said they'll try to avoid it as much as possible. Graham replies with, exactly, it's one of those rag to Red Bull comments. As soon as you mention it, even in a qualifying way, you're coming under fire. Is this turning into an absolute PR nightmare?
Potentially.
I'm just reading this now. Going through it again. During a call to an investor, asked if this delay means. I mean, who leaked this, or have they talked about this to the press?
It sounds like it's a quote from one of the league guys, right?
Yeah, it does. But was they talking to someone, or is this a leak of some sort? During a call to an investor, asked if this delay means that the game's development team will be required to crunch.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because I don't know whether or not I don't know if it is a quote directly and they've talked to the press, then this is again something that they did not need to mention.
Yes, exactly. But if it's something that's just been taken a little bit out of what should have been, it shouldn't have been like a public sort of thing. Then him saying to some degree, yes, you can kind of take that more literally to mean it might not happen as well, and it being a bit more honest in that sense.
I mean, I think this is probably the first time in our podcasting lifespan that something like this is still continuing to break as we go into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, this article this morning was not available when I went to go and scrape the news. So it's good that we're getting more as it goes on, but at the moment, this doesn't seem to be it. Like, they're not...
I kind of imagine that this is something that will be... talking about next week as well.
Absolutely. And this is not going to be the end of it. There's going to be so much more that comes out of it. I don't know how to word it so that I'm not coming across as a massive knobhead, which I already know that I am when I'm saying the words that are falling out of my mouth.
Go on, just go for it.
You know what? At this point, I might as well. What I mentioned before about the PR stuff, it didn't need to be there. It's not great for them as a company to say, look, the game's due to be coming out sometime soon, and then 3 months before say, no, we're going to kick it back 6 months. But then to find out that these guys are having to work twice as hard now to try and meet the extended 6 month deadline. Oh, sorry, 6 months from now. Even 6 months, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Right, yeah, so it's 5 months from April. Why are they having to work twice as hard to be able to get their... You know what, at this point, you might as well just delay it until the console, the PS5 comes out. Not as in, like, bring it out for the PS5, or just bring it out just before then. It seems like they're trying to get it done before the PS5 comes out. They said they want it to be their crowning achievement on this generation.
Yeah.
It feels like now they're putting too much pressure on themselves to get it out.
Yeah, I kind of really go back to my confusion about how they managed to misjudge it so much. And I think that's the main thing. I still... I'm still fine with the principle of games being delayed and all that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
That's great. But it is a bit weird. And from that point of view, I do kind of agree with you in terms of, it doesn't look good on them. I'm probably a bit more lenient than you in terms of the specific wording of what they said. Doesn't bother me too much. But... yeah, the fact that like you say, overworking them twice as hard when they've given them twice as much time is confusing.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Next Gen Renegade says September is an awkward window to release games with the next gen consoles on the horizon. Personally, I'd prefer to get it on the next gen, so I won't be buying it twice as over. Well, you kind of won't, will you? Because you'll be able to play this game on your next gen console. Well, at least you can on the PlayStation, according to reports that you can play PS4 games on your PS5. So you should be able to play that without problems. I mean, in some cases, we mentioned, Graham's mentioned it because I've never played an Assassin's Creed. I'm fairly certain he said that when you put a disc, like your Assassin's Creed disc, into the newer console, you could pay a difference for the upscaled res and things like that. I'm more than happy to be able to do that with the games that I absolutely adore. I mean, I'd wish they'd do that now with the PS2 to the PS4. I'd pay stupid amounts of money to be able to play PES 2 on my PS4 in 1080p. But yeah, we'll see about that. Asim says, I think the messaging is not only for press and fans, for investors too. In fact, more for investors actually, which again is absolutely scandalous, isn't it? I mean, you're trying to keep the people at the very top happy, whereas it's the people that are bringing the amount of money that they'll invest, they'll get back 1,000,000 times fold from the people who actually care about the franchise and want to pay the money into it.
I know, but that's the world. I mean, I completely agree, but that's just like a bigger picture than just this game, isn't it?
Absolutely. Ice Cream Upload says, I can see it blowing over. That crunch comment could just be blown up for clips, but I can also see a lynch mob looking to get more clicks on it around launch too. Expect potential dispatchy style undercover. Yeah, it's I love CD Projekt Red. The way that they've gone about everything, the games that they brought out previously. I've been looking forward to this game for as long as I can remember. The 45-minute gameplay trailer that we got way back when, everything that they've done around it is absolutely amazing. I can't believe now though that it's starting to become bad press. So close to the original deadline. Like, how long have we been talking about this game for, especially just on this podcast, not just on Twitter and everywhere else? This is the game that seems like the world, everyone wants that Ready Player One experience, and this is as close as I think we're ever going to get to it.
Yeah.
And I just don't want the cards falling down now. I don't want more people getting pissed off about it. So I just think that they need to be very careful between now and the release of the game, should it come out in September, to sour what this game is about. We don't want another game going sideways because of stupid things being said. Adsplay says, if they release the gameplay, the delay will be forgotten. We'll see.
What's the pink thing to my right?
You what?
There's a little poster. Graham said, more important than crunch and healthy working conditions in the games industry. What's the pink thing to Luke's right?
That's a very good point. I don't understand what it is.
I'm not going to read it in case it's some super secret information.
Let's have a look.
I'm just going to read it to myself. Ooh. Ooh, can't read that.
I tell you what. Oh, there's some secrets going on in here.
Because that didn't get out. It'll be looking as bad as CD, what's her face? Right, okay.
Asim says, this press will be blown out of proportion for clicks. It'll blow up very quickly. CDPR are a great studio. They built so much goodwill and even more over the years. Even if the fans were super unhappy, all fine. Again, if this is the worst that it comes out of it, I said this before, if this is the most pissed off I'm going to be about the wording of a PR statement, then I'll happily take that. It's unfortunate that it has been delayed for so long, because it's not exactly a month. It's a long time. We'll see how it comes out. I'm sure we're going to see more as it comes along. I'm sure it'll all be forgotten. But right now, 2 articles like this in bad press in 2 days. We'll see.
Yeah,
we will see.
We will see. I'm sure we'll follow it up on future shows.
Speaking of dumpster trucks on fire. See this? What did I?
Nice one. I like it.
Google Stadia. It's been a long time since we've actually mentioned this. I think it was actually before Christmas the last time we talked about Google Stadia. This one has been written again on VG247 by our mate Steph. Google Stadia will add 120 games this year with over 10 launch exclusives. Google Stadia will... Oh, jeez, why did I do the same thing twice? Google Stadia will add 120 games to the service this year and more than 10 launch exclusives in the first half of the year. In a blog post today, Google announced it would share more on the upcoming Google Stadia games and Google Stadia launch exclusives soon. We have a bit more planned and will continue to work hard toward delighting gamers with our vision for Stadia, reads the post. We are working with our partners to share more on those games soon. Users can expect more features coming to Stadia in Q1. Beyond the following updates, the service will be rolled out over the next 3 months. Support for 4K gaming on the web. Add further assistant functionality when played on the web. Support additional Android phones. Wireless gameplay on the web through Stadia controller. Google said that will be expected more this year and will share more about the games coming on Stadia Pro in February. The service launched in November 19 with 22 games. Okay, so 122 games throughout the year. That's massive.
There's a lot. So I almost got distracted straight away by the idea that they're calling like 10 launch exclusives coming soon. I feel like that's a bit of a... Like, it's launched. Like, you know what I mean?
You know what?
How can you say,
I read
like,
it
launch...
and I didn't even think about that.
Launch games. Like, oh, I wonder when the next PS4 launch game is coming out, you know. But,
that's a weird one. In fact, I've got something else to tag onto this that Graham mentioned to me this morning. So I'm just going to get that one up as well. Where are you?
120 games are good, though.
Oh, it's right there. I don't know. 120 games throughout the year. That's amazing. We'll see how they plan out. But to tag on to the end of this, BT partners with Stadia for new broadband offers. BT partners with Stadia announced that their plans to collaborate towards the future of cloud gaming. They are the first European network to partner with cloud gaming console. Google and BT will work together to build awareness and availability of the cloud gaming service. I'm so sorry. That was like a small hiccup burp as I was reading through that. So I do apologise. That literally just came out of absolutely nowhere. Alongside the news, BT is offering new package offers for their broadband bundling Stadia with high-speed fibre connections. BT is launching a unique Google Stadia offer to celebrate the partnership. Customers taking out either BT's Superfast Fibre 2, Ultrafast Fibre 100 or Ultrafast Fibre 250 with prices starting at just $39.99 per month, English sterling. Can choose to receive a free Google Stadia Premier Edition. The Stadia Premier Edition includes a Stadia controller, Chromecast Ultra, and 3 months access to Stadia Pro, which offers the ability to play in up to 4K 60 FPS with HDR and 5.1 surround sound, as well as claim games and discounts, a la carte purchases. This partnership seems like it's a perfect match for Stadia. Needs to get quality broadband, so bundling them together for a monthly cost should appeal to a much larger market. Dunlad Gaming says, I'm already on that broadband package. I want a free Stadia. Phone him up. It's not going to work you to phone him up and ask him if you can get one. But we've said it 1,000,001 times. This is the future of video games.
This is really important. I remember us sort of saying when the Stadia first came out, it all, as everyone knows, it's all about sort of internet quality is where we are at the moment in terms of internet, and why the Stadia still isn't good enough as a result of it. But by Stadia working with internet providers, hopefully that future will come sooner.
Yeah. I mean, again, we touched on stuff that we've spoken about 1,000,001 times. I think we've pretty much had 4 or 5 podcast pretty much hammering Stadia. For me, the launch was an absolute failure. Like, we've said it 1,000,001 times. They should have had a beta like xCloud are doing now. They've had a beta for nearly 3 months at this point, which everyone is now raving about. If you go onto a website called M4G, you'll be able to see a lot of people's writings on there about Google Stadia. It's basically just like an RSS feed of new stuff, and someone's actually written about xCloud being the best that they have played with gaming on the go, and that includes playing on the Switch and playing with mobile games and things like that. The fact that you have access to 1,000,001 games on an infrastructure that they have had years to play around with. They've promoted it as being an early access. These come out, dick swinging, and said this is going to be the best. You'll be able to do everything on day one. It gets released. You can't do everything on day one. There's still shitloads of things missing. Infrastructure's on its ass. It doesn't work properly. It lags all over the gaff. Still, quote me now, in 2 years' time, Stadia will be exactly where we want to be.
Okay.
Everything that they have said, everything that they have said in the last year or so, in 2 years' time from now, will be where we need to be.
You heard it here first, folks.
There is no way that we can't get to a point where streaming video games will not be the norm. I hate that. I absolutely hate streaming games. In fact, I hate streaming altogether. I'm a collector of shit.
Sure.
I'm not a hoarder, but as a video game collector, I've collected stupid games. I like having the physical copy of them, not just because they look good on a shelf, but also the fact that licenses can go, like Grand Theft Auto 4 recently got taken off the PC Steam market due to the license doesn't exist anymore, so they've had to take it down. It's just small things like that you don't have control over. So streaming games is one step away from
like owning the thing,
exactly,
and securing it, and I agree with that point. I'm less of a perhaps collector in the sense that I quite enjoy having things downloaded onto my PlayStation. I suppose, you know, I know it sounds so lazy, but I just can't be asked changing the CD.
Do you know what? That you say that's lazy, but that is the norm now. Why would you want to go to? This is why I cannot believe that stores like Game have been open for so long. Because if PlayStation roll back, rewind. If PlayStation and Xbox and people and companies like that market their games at a price that undercuts even slightly places like Game, which are through the roof when it comes to video game prices anyway, but they slap another $5 on top of that. I don't understand how it costs more for you to download than it would be for you to go to the shops, buy it over the counter, bring it back, put it in your PlayStation, and still have the physical disc. It should be cheaper because, one, they're not even printing the game anymore. There's no manuals because it's all online. They're just adding it to a service for you to be able to download and use your own internet that you have to pay for yourself to download the game, and 1,000,001 patches that they end up putting on anyway. It just makes no sense why the games are a lot more expensive on the store. However, me being able to take this pad and a Chromecast wherever I go in the world, or just my laptop, I can take this laptop. If I'm going to E3 or Gamescom this year, I could take this laptop with me and be able to play Destiny 2 in my hotel room.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, there are a lot of practical benefits to it. I understand as well there are quite a lot of concerns around it. Because, like, they will be able to have a much bigger control of pricing as well if it's on, like, a cloud service, like you say. But I do think I do agree. Obviously, the only way is for it to get better. It can't get any worse in terms of the Google Stadia in general. So, in 2 years' time, it's got to be a lot better.
I mean, is it worth you getting involved in Stadia now? We'll see.
I don't think they're offering any incentive to get it now.
Far from it. I mean, the games that they've been offering are games that are like 4 years old anyway. You know, like we get games with Gold and PlayStation Plus and things like that. They was offering like the Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I think is about 5 years old now. Stadia is another No Man's Sky, which No Man's Sky is now a very good game, so hopefully we'll get to that stage and it won't take 4 years or however long it's been out. Asim said, Dick Swinging, is that Stadia exclusive? We shall see. Maybe they've got a lot of indie developers making games like that. But I love the fact that BT are now getting involved, because the amount of money that they will probably get from this to say, do you know what, mate? We might be able to help you out here. We've got super fast shit. We'll make your super fast servers connect with our super fast internet, and then people will be able to play the game. You'll get more money. We'll get more money. We'll be high-fiving at the Christmas do. Everything's golden. So we'll see how this goes on. It's only a good. It's got to be only a good move for both parties in this.
Yeah.
I have Sky Broadband, which is actually hosted by BT. So will I be able to get on this? I don't know. I'll have to ask the missus because we are due to upgrade our shit soon. Will I mind getting a free Google Stadia? Absolutely not. I'd love just to be able to have one to the side, and then when it gets good, I can just whip it out of the box again.
I suppose when we say, what's the incentive of getting it now? Well, if it's free, then suddenly it becomes
that's your incentive right there.
I feel as well, just before we jump on the next story, we've not really. Obviously, we glanced at and kind of laughed at the 10 launch exclusives comment, but the exclusives bit is an interesting one because that's one thing that Stadia hasn't had yet, right? It's not had a proper exclusive.
Well,
or has it?
I'm going to correct you there because they did, but you will probably never have known what it was or anything because it never got marketed. So I'm actually going to find out.
Oh, I think I remember that.
How it went. So this is the game that came out and was the launch game. It was called Guilt. I'm going to move our faces. So, Guilt, video game set in a creepy and melancholic world. Jesus, I've never said that word before in my life. Guilt is an eerie story mixing fantasy and reality in surrealist place where your nightmares become reality, hide from terrible creatures or confront them as you find your way through the challenges of this wickedness. I mean, to be fair, as a blurb and a survival horror fan,
yeah, that sounds alright.
That sounds alright.
I do remember, it does ring a bell now, you've mentioned it though, and I do remember seeing that a review or something that was very lukewarm towards it. I saw then, I think it has 68% on Metacritic, which isn't amazing, It
got 3.5 out of 5 on Games Radar, and actual Google users rated this as 89% liking this game. So as that's your platform, that's your benchmark.
Yeah.
As the first launch game, shall we call it, a first exclusive on Google Stadia, that is your benchmark. You've got to try and beat that. We'll see what other studios get involved with them. By this time, I think Microsoft and Sony have hoovered up the vast majority of them. So what we're going to be left with, we'll see. But have you never been melancholic? I don't think I've ever said it. I've heard of melancholy. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, it is. It's how you. Yeah, it's feeling melancholy is to be melancholic.
Yeah. Very odd. Ian 2K says Xbox Games Pass for PC is well better than Stadia. You get a full list of games installed on your PC, quality of graphics, and no video streaming. I mean, the Games Pass for PC, once you unlock all the other games, will be absolutely amazing because I think not every game that's on Games Pass is available on PC. I.e. things like Oblivion, which I would just like to play in 1080. That would be absolutely amazing. But yeah, I agree. Games Pass, as it stands, and the way that xCloud have gone about it is perfect. We'll need more of that. I can't see these two being the only two competitors in the market. Once the streaming service becomes a real thing, we're going to see a lot more. OnLive was doing this 10 years ago, and we've still got ours in the cupboard. That didn't last very long. So we'll see how this one goes. PS Now sucks, I fully agree. I've been reading that Stadia are paying Sony to delay some games so that they have exclusive. Dan lad, that has to be bullshit. There is no way that Stadia, I don't think that Google are sending an email to Sony and say, listen, right, Last of Us, we know that you're gonna find it. I'm gonna find that. So we know that Last of Us is coming out, right?
Well, it won't be something like Last of Us. It would be like a little indie sort of thing, won't it? If anything, yeah,
it will be the shit games. There's no way. I mean, I'm saying there's no way. There is probably absolutely every way that this could be the case, but no, surely not.
To be honest, I couldn't imagine them paying Sony necessarily, but more to do with paying the developer. You would have thought to say, hey, can we get your game first, or publisher or whatever. But not. It would be weird to sort of pay the rival console company, but I don't know.
I understand if they're paying companies to we've seen many games go from Steam to Epic Store, switching them. I can understand that, but I don't think I can get my head around them saying we'll pay you to not release your game yet. That seems a bit weird. Well, yeah. If you can find that, I'm more than happy to read through that one, Lee. That's not a problem. Ads Plays is just laughing all over the gaff. But yeah, we'll see. We've got a whole year of Google Stadia coming up. They're going to be competing with the big boys at this point at the end of the year when the PS5 and Xbox, whatever it decides to call itself next, comes out. As well as potentially the Nintendo Switch Pro, which is obviously just going to be the Nintendo Switch, but with a faster and better processor.
Just a question that entered my mind then. So I take it, with being a cloud gaming service,
yes,
Stadia isn't locked down to having any particular graphical limitations, right?
No, so apparently the resolution flickers between how fast your internet is.
Right.
So if you're running at 1 billion megs a second or whatever, then your game will most likely run at 4K if their servers allow you to.
Sure.
So you're relying on their servers being fast enough and working well enough for them to transmit the signal to you.
Because I kind of feel like, in that case, I know this is a long way off, but the Stadia might get better than the PS5 and the new Xbox, like a few years into their lifespans, where obviously they're not able to develop anymore. Once they release, like when they first release, they'll be like, wow, graphics amazing. But then over the years, the Stadia will be able to continually upgrade. People continue to get sort of better internet. It might sort of push above, you know. This is
the thing. So Stadia, apparently, Google have the biggest and best servers available. They've got the best infrastructure. Say a brand new graphics card comes out that can push 8K gaming, they'll just put the 8K gaming ones in and be able to transmit that signal to you. Fair enough, you're going to need more bandwidth and things like that, but they've got the ability to be able to do that.
Potentials there.
Exactly, yeah. But there's obviously a lot of discrepancies between what you're getting now, what they've promised.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Towards the end of the year, we've said it 1,000,001 times on here. This is the future of video games. You want to be able to play your video game anywhere, which is why the Nintendo Switch is predominantly my main console. I can play Skyrim whenever the shit I want. I can tether my phone to my Nintendo Switch to be able to play Fortnite if I'm in Starbucks or Costa somewhere. Exactly, for me, it's my favourite console. If I'm able to do and take my laptop, plug my pad into it, and then I'm able to play those games on the go, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I agree.
We want to see more AAA titles on here, though. That's what we want. Dan Lad Game says, Push Square News, Stadia will pay to delay 10 games. It's a bit of a donkey article. Is it worth reading? Is it worth adding to the news segment today? I mean, if anybody else in the chat has been able to pull that one up and give us a heads up, it's a bit, because now you're saying it's a bit of a donkey article. It makes me think that it's a bit bullshit. I mean, Push Square is a decent news source as well. So again, that's flipping the other side.
We can always come back to it at the end, and people have read it in the chat and let us know whether you reckon it's worth reading.
It's just reworded what you talked about. All right, so we don't need to cover it then. Fair enough. But yeah, if they're going to put it, I think it's highly unlikely for another developer to pay somebody to delay their games. If they was to be able to delay putting it on the store or potentially buying a different storefront for it, I can agree with that. But just telling them to say, hold off on releasing it, we're going to release ours first, that seems a bit weird. I don't think I've ever seen that in play before. Again, everything that I say on here could be absolute bullshit, so if you want to tweet me, then it's at We've Got With Benio. You'll be able to give me shit on there. Or if you're in it,
call him out, I mean.
That's it, call me out. Or if you're in the chat, feel free to call me out so we can have it out, because there's nothing more than I love than arguing. Especially on stream. But we've got 2 more articles to go through today. The first one is, do you want to read one? You haven't read one today, have you?
Exactly.
Let's go.
We're in Horizon. Right, okay, so this one is on Eurogamer and it is by Matt Wales. Horizon Zero Dawn is reportedly coming to PC later this year. A first for a PlayStation exclusive from a Sony-owned studio. Oh, yeah. Right, so developer Guerrilla Games acclaimed post-apocalyptic open-world action RPG Horizon Zero Dawn, in which a self-assured young hunter named Aloy murders a bunch of dinosaur robots using a bow and arrow, is reportedly set to leave the loving embrace of PlayStation 4 exclusivity later this year in order to make its way to PC. That's according to Kotaku's Jason Schreier, yeah, who, citing 3 people familiar with Sony's plans, says that Horizon Zero Dawn will launch on Steam and the Epic Store at some point in 2020, complete with PC enhancements. Horizon Zero Dawn wouldn't be the first PlayStation exclusive to release on PC, of course. The likes of that game company's Journey, as well as Quantic Dreams' Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, made the jump last year, while Death Stranding comes to PC this summer. Horizon Zero Dawn is notable, however, due to the fact that it would be the first PlayStation exclusive from a Sony-owned studio to make the transition to another platform. Traditionally, the company has adhered to the time-honoured strategy of nurturing its own platform-exclusive gaming IP in order to drive console hardware sales. Times, though, are a-changing, and Microsoft, a company with more invested in PC than most, admittedly, has been committed to putting all its Xbox exclusives on the platform for several years now. If reports of Horizon Zero Dawn's move to PC prove to be true, hopefully we might see other PlayStation exclusive titles make the leap too, by which I obviously mean Bloodborne. Thank you very please, Sony.
What do you think?
I guess it can't harm them. Now that it's been out for, at least a couple of years now, hasn't it? On the PlayStation, probably most people who own a PlayStation will have got it by now. So Sony have still sort of gained the benefits of it being exclusive originally. But now, obviously, they're still going to get profits from selling the game on Steam or Epic Store or whatever, because they own the studio and the name or whatever. So I can't see it being a bad move, and I'm into PC gaming increasingly, so it'd be nice to see the extra boost in graphics or the extra control with the mouse and all that kind of stuff.
What do you think then? Because I don't want to say we have it on good authority, but there is heavy rumours that Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is going to be part of a release lineup for the PlayStation 5. Do you think it will have console exclusivity for 2? I think this came out in 2017. Do you think it'll have that amount of 2.5-3 years exclusivity on the PS5 before it comes to PC again? Or do you reckon it will be a cross-platform release should it ever come out?
Well, as a pure guess, I reckon it would be at least a couple of years again of exclusivity. Yeah. Because, especially with it being a new console and, release and everything, it's extra important, I think. My thoughts exactly. Yeah. With how well this game did and how beloved it is around people who love playing these kind of games, it'll be dumb for them to be able to bring it out on PC too, because you don't want the PC market not draining the sales of it, because obviously you want this to be your main title on the PS5 when it eventually comes out. We've only seen Godfall really that's actively going to be lined up when the console comes out. So if that is the case, then and this is the second game that comes out, inevitably we're going to get 1,000,001 sports games. Inevitably we're going to get Battlefield 6, because that's already been confirmed to be coming out there. Inevitably we're going to be getting probably a port of Skyrim at some point on this as well, just to complete the holy grail of PlayStation ports. It's true, yeah. I'm just thinking as well, like, obviously this is getting the game out to more people, the original Horizon. So everyone who owns a PC who plays it for the first time, that could really help be a sort of console seller. Like, they'll be like, okay, I'm going to get one of the next PlayStation or Xbox as well. Oh, I loved Horizon Zero Dawn 1. I can only play Horizon Zero Dawn 2 on the PlayStation 5, so I'll buy it.
That was literally where that conversation that I just mentioned there was going to be leading to. You're opening a brand new market for the PC players, because there is the PC Master Race and all that, which, if anybody's seen how much I played on my PlayStation this year through the PlayStation wrap-up, this year has been the least year that I've played on my PlayStation. It was basically for football games. Yeah. Didn't really play much else, barring Resident Evil at the beginning of the year. All my games were played on my PC this year. But I know full well if I'm going to be getting a console exclusive, the likelihood of me getting a PlayStation is 1,000,000 times more than it's going to be to get an Xbox, which is the exact reason I didn't get an Xbox One this year.
Yeah, same. I have nothing against, like, the Xbox's kind of inherent, like, software or anything like that, or controller or anything, but it's just the exclusives that make PlayStation the most likely one I'm going to get again.
They don't call it for the players for no reason, mate. Do you know what I mean? No reason at all. But yeah, again, Horizon Zero Dawn, it's a massive coup for the PC market. It could potentially lead to a lot more. Did it say when it's going to be coming out? It says later this year. Again, if this game comes out in, say, July, August time, that's about 5 months until Christmas when potentially this is going to get, the PlayStation 5 is going to get released. That should be enough time to be able to save up for the console, depending on how much you're able to save. So again, that could sway your decision on what consoles you're going to get. I know full well, Aston, that you're going to be day one ride or die on both of these consoles. So this conversation probably won't be applied to you. But I know full well that you're going to end up picking these games up anyway. Next Gen Renegade says, with Games Pass, I'm finding myself playing at the Xbox more at the moment. Will most likely go for the PS5. Absolutely, exactly. Oh God. Pirate says, Lamau, just seen the tweet from Toby to Luke.
Oh God.
Have you seen it?
No, I've not.
I haven't seen this. Is this worth bringing up on screen?
Sounds dangerous to me, man.
We're just going to have a quick look at this because this should be interesting. So sorry for the... not Toby Tarrant. Not... Somewhere turned off early driving. Take a walk on the car park. So they'd be allowed to come in and win. Okay, so it's not.
Oh God, yeah. This is going back some. With for those who don't know, Toby used to be a member of the ice cream team. Used to be a member of the Jelly Media team, and so yeah, we got the job about the same time. But he'll always bring up this one time where someone. This was like I was here for a year or two at the time. Someone phoned because they had an interview, and the interview room upstairs was busy. So I didn't tell them to have a walk around the car park, but I kind of did a bit. I said basically, well, there's someone there at the moment, so just have a walk around for a bit and come back later.
Did that person get hired?
They literally, I can't remember who, I don't think so. Literally, like, all there is outside is a car park. So effectively what I was saying was just have a walk around, have a tour around the car park.
And that is how Bridie started her jelly career.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm only joking. But yeah, Asu says, yes, it's true, both consoles at launch for me. Again, this is going to be absolutely amazing this year. With so many new games coming out, so many new consoles going to be available. There's 1,000,001 ways that we can naturally now take our games. It's just going to be amazing. Yeah. There's no other way of putting it. We are catered for in every market. Now, to news that leaves me impartial, yet mildly angry in this angry podcast that I've fulfilled so far. Those of you that are a fan of this football club may want to leave now before I start giving some major expletives. However, it does warm my heart with the message that gets put out there. So, are you ready for it? Manchester United's Marcus Rashford partners with Fnatic and UNICEF to promote positivity. Of all the people in the world,
well, make sure he's promoting your positivity as well, baby.
Not at all.
I know how much you love him.
Red bastard. So yeah, as the title suggests, Man United will be partnering with Fnatic and UNICEF to promote positivity. We may need a bit more of that on this podcast. Just before we get into this, number one pirate says defo PS5 for me, but I'm not sure whether the other console warrants me buying it on launch day. I agree. Ad says PSV easy clap. Connor says that's the spirit, baby. And Lee says Marty Rashford promoting positivity. Right, okay, this is where we start to have a football show. I think we need more than just video game news. This is a football show. We're gonna have phone-ins. It's gonna be a really good talk sport. Yeah, we don't give shit takes apart from if I'm on it. Esports organisation Fnatic will be partnering with UNICEF to promote spread positivity in gaming with the help of Marcus Rashford and FIFA superstar Tex, because nobody knows him as Donovan Hunt. Funds raised from the partnership will contribute to UNICEF programmes around the world working to create a safer, happier and better world for every child. Rashford will feature in the Got Your Back campaign charity stream with Tex on January 23rd, which, if I am not mistaken, is next Wednesday. No, next Thursday.
I'll take you with it.
In an effort to spread awareness and combat toxic behaviour and bullying, of which both widespread cause spread... both of which are widespread cause of problems in online gaming and other communities. The Manchester United striker said, "I have experienced the effects of toxic online behaviours myself and know what that feels like, so partnering with UNICEF and Fnatic to promote positivity in gaming was a no-brainer for me. It's important that our platforms are used for positivity to offer voices of cause, and in this case, children, who will sometimes struggle to be heard. I am very happy to provide that." I've just hiccup burped again, I very much apologise. So Fnatic posted a tweet out yesterday saying, "Memes aside for a sec." Let me just move my face a sec. Memes aside for a sec, gaming and esports can be toxic AF. Unhappy face. That's why we're partnering with UNICEF. Join us throughout January as our players take part in a live charity streams to raise money for kids around the world. Fnatic's got your back. The charity stream will be one of many content pieces Fnatic and UNICEF will have created to raise funds for UNICEF programmes worldwide, alongside their campaigns to bring more positivity into gaming. Fnatic COO Glenn Calvert said, "Toxicity online is one of the biggest challenges we face in our industry, as it creates barriers for entry and enjoyment for the players and fans alike. Together with UNICEF, we can help our community tackle this problem and work to build a safe, positive and inclusive environment for all, while raising money for the world's most vulnerable children." This is absolutely amazing. I love the fact that football players are getting involved not only in esports but in charitable things. We've seen many charity matches, including things like Soccer Aid, which I think Soccer Aid is in partnership with UNICEF as well. So the fact that it's getting into the gaming hemisphere as well, with potentially England's hottest talents, is absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Allegiant. Gee, I just gozzed everywhere then. I'm falling apart. I'm actually falling apart. The fact that football players are embracing esports as well as an esports enthusiast is absolutely amazing, because it's just going to give more mainstream to the likes. I mean, who's not heard of Fnatic at this point? But again, it's absolutely amazing, and GG to everyone that's involved with this.
Yep.
1 second, I'm just going to go through the chat. What is a PSV, baby? What the hell? Did I say PSV? I think you're lying.
I can't remember you saying that, but then, I don't usually listen, so...
Cheers, mate. As says Rashford the plot. Asim says it's the most positivity Rashford will be linked with football in United this season. Good cause though, he does work with charities and homeless, fair play. Exactly. I mean, footballers have one of the biggest platforms in the world to be able to give their kind of feedback to. They can help in any way that they can. And this, again, allegiances aside, as a Manchester City fan, fucking hate United, but you've got to commend the players, not the club. I don't hate the players. I'm a City fan. Do you know what I mean? I grew up in the city where United were winning everything. City was shit, and thankfully now the tables have turned.
Yeah.
But my allegiances will always be the blue side. But the fact that the players, I don't care. I love the fact that the players all knock about with each other. But again, allegiances aside, they're doing good. They're building a platform. They're able to raise as much money as they can for the people who are in need, and that, my friend, is only good news for everyone involved.
I agree. Yeah. Don't really have any more to add on that story myself. Actually, it pretty much speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Exactly. Now, this comes to the very last part of the show. What time have we managed? Have we managed to drag this out?
We've managed to drag it out. Yeah, it's
well over the hour mark. Exactly what we like to see on a Friday morning.
This is the good your age does.
Exactly. I mean, we always wanted a kind of morning show for people to be able to come and get involved with us, have a sit down, read the news, have some shit takes, laugh at United a little bit more, and take the piss out of Xbox users, and nowadays more Google Stadia users. But yeah, again, this show has started to build a lot of momentum since its inception, and we are starting to get a now healthy audience that want to interact with us, that want to be able to get involved, give us news stories, including our shit takes. So again, I very much appreciate each and every one of you that come here, because we do have a lot of regulars, don't we?
We do, yeah.
We have a lot of regulars. Shout out to the likes of Lee, shout out to the likes of Asim, shout out to the likes of Ads, Precision, Danielle Day, I know she lurks in here a lot, and obviously also Graham, who talks a lot. But yeah, we have a lot of you that stop by every single day, so we very much appreciate all the input that you give us, because it makes our show flow a lot better, rather than me and either Graham or Luke just feel like we're talking into a camera, because the likes of you that are listening to this on SoundCloud, which is our most positive, I can't believe the amount of people that listen to it on that platform. So again, each and every single one of you, I very much appreciate it. Dan Ladd saying, ignore the above. And now it's just a lot of words.
Okay. Do you down the line gaming, you know.
But yes, again, if you have any news that isn't, how did you put it, Lee? Was it, it's a bit of a donkey? If you don't have any donkey news, then feel free to tag us in there, because we love to bring all the news articles that have your input and our input into these. This has been our podcast for Friday. Is there anything else that you would like to add to today or this week's podcast?
No.
Absolutely. Fair enough then. Another massive hot take there. But yeah, again, thank you very much. Literally from the bottom of my heart. This is maybe getting a bit emotional. I very much appreciate every single one of you that come along, because you do make our mornings so much better. And not just because we're in work or anything like that, but we get to spend time with all you lot. We're trying to build our community. We want to get involved with the likes of anyone that wants to talk about video games, really, because that's what we're into. That's kind of what we do as a day-to-day job.
It is, yeah, which is, you know, stuff to pinch myself sometimes that's the case.
I know, it's weird being in the video game industry, like, just growing up and playing the likes of Pro Evo and then get involved in the Pro Evo communities, then being able to go to the Pro Evo World Finals and hosting them and things like that. It is a massive dream, and I very much do not take anything that we do with this company or what we do as a day-to-day job for granted. It's amazing opportunities, which obviously you can get involved in by coming here and listening to our podcast each and every day, because you never know what might happen in the future. You start to build your portfolio by streaming and making content. Who knows where that could potentially take you. But yes, that is it for this week. It is our third week back. This is our 65th show, I think, which has gone extremely fast. Again, if you do see anything in the video game hemisphere that you want to have opinions on, if you have opinions too, please feel free to be able to tag us in at Ice Cream Uploads. And fairly soon, when I get to this point, Pirate usually drops the socials in there, which is why he has the sword next to his name, because he's a very, very good lad. But yeah, if you have any news, feel free to tag us in. We'll be able to pick them up and give your opinions and ours in the very next show, which will be Monday now, because again, this is Friday. I've already asked you, is there anything else that you want to add?
It is indeed Friday. I hope everyone has a very nice weekend, and let us know on the sort of socials as well. Not just in terms of if you've got any articles and stuff like Bibby says, but just let us know in general, like what games you're playing at the moment, what you're enjoying, all that kind of stuff, because we like to hear that too.
Absolutely. We'll be back on this show, The Scoop, at 10 a.m. Monday morning. You can find us on Twitch twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, and you can find us on 4 major podcast services, which again, Luke, I'm going to ask for your input here.
Yep, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes and Google Play.
Perfect. Now you can find those later on this afternoon. You'll be able to find this show on Twitch in an hour's time, YouTube in an hour's time, and also on podcast services that Luke has very kindly just rhymed off later on this afternoon. But again, guys, until 10 a.m. Monday morning, that has been it from us. And don't forget, guys, stay frosty!